From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Debate on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 9. Presented by Vivo. Powered by Renault Hike and Nestway.
Good evening. It's great to see you on the debate and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time ever on Indian television, ISIS terrorists have been caught on tape. Yes, terrorists of the Islamic State. These radicalized, hardcore ISIS men are the backbone of the terrorist organization in India. And they owe their allegiance never and not to India, but to the ISIS and only to the ISIS. Viewers, for the first time ever, you will see tonight ISIS terrorists who believe only and only in an Islamic state and hate Indian democracy. But say without the slightest element of regret that while they hate Indian democracy, they will use and abuse Indian democracy, carry out blasts in India, kill Indians, carry out a war against the Indian state. These are ISIS men who are free and walking around on the streets of Hyderabad, as our investigation shows, and God knows where else in this country, looking for the next target. And whose only and only aim is to convert everyone to Islam or to kill them. Tonight, as we bring you this expose, I ask, 1. Will Indian politicians have the guts to accept that the ISIS is in India? Or will they deny what Republic is putting out? 2. Will Indian politicians admit that it is because of Muslim appeasement that these ISIS men are allowed to run their operations unchecked in India? Or will they question Republic instead? 3. That it is the most colossal failure of our law and order machinery that a TV channel called Republic Broadcasting for 10 days can expose them, but they won't lift a finger. Because the moment they do, people like Owaisi will immediately make it a political issue. In no other country in the world would the ISIS be allowed to grow and flourish like we have in India. But unfortunately, in India, the citizen, that is you and me, is left to the mercy of these people. Left to deal with the fact that ISIS terrorists can hurt us, kill us, carry out blasts, form groups, and operate with impunity while we pay taxes, while we cast votes, and while we hope and expect that we won't be left defenseless against these negative forces. Tonight, in this war between the negative forces attacking the nation and Republic, tonight I expect and I demand that if we at Republic can expose these groups, then the politicians will at least show the guts to put them in lockup. We've got a large reaction from all our viewers tonight. And you've been tweeting, you've been calling, you've been responding to our expose. Yes, Republic had stung ISIS, and that's debate number 1. On debate number 2, politically, Chidambaram is in the hot spot. Now, is his son responsible for a dubious deal, a transaction that he needs to own up for? That debate is after 10. And here are the headlines on the debate this evening.
I don't know when, but once I came in contact.
For the first time on Indian television, the ISIS India network is stung. Tapes capture the nation's attention.
But I'm most vocally supportive of the Islamic State.
From justifying beheading to revealing their India plan, radicalized ISIS men confirm direct link with Syria.
तरह की जब खबर आती है तो उसको हम सीरियस लेते हैं और साथ ही साथ ऐसे लोग किसी भी तरह से किसी भी रूप में भारत में अपनी जड़ें जमा सकें, लोगों को गुमराह कर सकें, हम सफल नहीं होने देंगे।
Another Republic super exclusive impact center watches the tape and assures follow-up and advisory from agencies.
So legal help has to be given to everyone. That cannot be stopped according to Constitution. So if you have proof, please give it to the police, and I'm sure the police will take action on that.
But nothing changes for the likes of Asaduddin Owaisi. It's every person's right, says the Neta who gives them legal support. No word from Chidambaram on being raided by the CBI. Did his son conspire with the finance ministry to push INX Media's case?
Available to them. First it was the ED, then it was the income tax, now it is the CBI. These are all completely bogus charges. There is nothing of substance.
And Karti and his firms named by the CBI and the FIRC agency believes he may have received cash in turn for favour. But first, ladies and gentlemen, ISIS, or the Islamic State, is the biggest terrorist group in the entire world. They butcher, they kill, they rape, they behead, and they burn alive anyone they consider a non-believer or a threat. Now, even among hardline Muslim groups, the ISIS has reached a level of barbarism that has not been seen before. Unfortunately, Indian politicians interested in Muslim appeasement have spread the lie that the ISIS does not exist in India. They tell us the ISIS is in Bangladesh, in Syria, in Pakistan, Afghanistan, in Iraq, but not in India. Republic is today calling out their lie. These politicians, who even want to fight legal cases, free of cost for ISIS terror suspects, must answer the nation now. Republic's Prema Sridevi has stung the ISIS network in India. The people you're about to see are dangerous, extremely radicalized men with deep connections to the ISIS top leadership. This is the enemy within. ISIS terrorists who are on the loose, camouflaged as reformed terrorists. Now, never before have ISIS terrorists been on tape. These men, interrogated in detail by Prema, have all got strong ISIS connections. They're completely anti-national and they're anti-Indian. You will hear them say tonight on tape that they hate Indian democracy, but they say they will use and abuse it. They believe in a purely Islamic nation. And worst of all, they are free in the open, disguised as any average Indian citizen. These men are the enemy within, and here tonight is part one of this expose of the ISIS network in India.
In the Islamic State, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is rarely seen and never photographed, but his killers are everywhere, in Syria, in Dhaka, and now in India. 4,353 kilometers from Syria, this man, Abdullah Basit, is the key man of the ISIS support network in India.
Abdullah Basit tells me about how he will turn India into an Islamic state. Sitting plumb in the south of India, he rants about his love for ISIS and jihad and his hatred for India and the Indian democracy.
The media that is showing about ISIS is totally wrong. I said you personally have been in contact with guys. I know how good they are. Yeah.
You mean to say ISIS guys are ISIS guys?
Personally. 2014 ISIS, okay? In हर एक मुसलमान जो ये समझे कि खिलाफत नहीं है, then he is out of the folds of Islam. He's a non-Muslim.
So what do you mean by khilafat?
Khilafat basically a thing. There is no kingdom, there is no racism, there is no gender bias, there is no poor rich. Like in India, it's a democratic country, democracy.
So basically an Islamic state.
Islamic state.
Like
not Islamic state.
Enforcement of Sharia.
Yeah, basically. Sharia. Totally. Not only for Muslims, for all Christians, even if non-Muslim, this is good. And I say, and if I get a chance to say on a platform, I definitely say that Hindus or Dalits or anyone, they will be more happy under the Islamic state than India.
In 2014 and 2015, he was caught twice by anti-terror squads leading a group to join the ISIS. Now, from his base in Miryalaguda, 150 kilometers from Hyderabad, he operates stealthily. On record, he says he was with ISIS till last year and not now. But as I interrogate him, with my spy cam rolling, he reveals everything. It's clear to me he is as hardcore an ISIS man now as he was last year. He tells me how he brainwashes other Muslim youth to join ISIS.
Abrar told me that you were really, you had a major role to play in radicalizing him, in motivating him.
True.
You used to show him videos of killings. You used to say, you used to say Baghdadi is the Lord of all.
No, I didn't say it.
What did you say?
I will say he's the Lord. Basically, I'll say you once.
But you, something like that. What did you say about Baghdadi?
मैं आपको एक सेंटेंस में आपको समझ में आ जाएगा कि अबरार को कैसे डिक्लेयर करा. I texted him on his Facebook. I said like Abrar, अगर हंसी आ रही है खिलाफत आ गई. He was so sweet. He was like खिलाफत किसको बोलते हैं? He knew zero.
On 21st October 2013, 18 people died and over 130 were injured in serial blasts carried out by the Indian Mujahideen in Dilsukh-Nagar. Basit says if terrorists like him are stopped from going to Syria, more blasts like Dilsukh-Nagar will happen.
अगर किसी को जाना है तो फिर कैसे जाएगा?
मुश्किल. अब मैं ये बताऊँ आपको बहुत अच्छे सवाल पूछा क्योंकि जाने का रास्ता बंद हो गया और आदमी फ्रस्ट्रेट हुआ था. तो ये जो परसों जो पकड़े गए बच्चा SAS के हैदराबाद में वो होने वाला है. वो वही होगा
क्या?
हर रास्ता बंद हो गया. रूम के बाहर निकलना है. कुछ नहीं मिला तो क्या करूँगा भाई? रूम के अंदर ही स्टार्ट कर दूंगा.
परसों क्या हुआ था?
ISIS के जो बच्चे पकड़े गए, they were attacking plants in India, in Hyderabad malls.
When?
नहीं जब पूछताछ करने हैं हमको.
परसों नहीं ना? जैसे बोले.
Ma'am, you are new to Hyderabad.
Yeah.
In Hyderabad, परसों is around 1 year ago. ये कौन सा ये मंथ? रमजान मेरे नहीं का भाई जुलाई 2016. 7-8 लोग इब्राहिम यज़दानी, इलियास यज़दानी, the one who is present in चंचलगुड़ा जेल. क्या करे वो लोग? They give alliance like paper पे लिखे हैं all this thing. Why? Because they didn't have any way to go there.
So when people are frustrated and they don't have any way, then what happens?
This happens.
What? They plan terror attacks in the country.
Basically, करेंगे.
This is Mohammed Zubi. He is a global ISIS recruiter, originally from Australia, seen here in an interview with an Australian TV channel.
Who do you support in the Syrian conflict?
Look, I'm not part of any particular group, but I'm most vocally supportive of the Islamic State. I believe that they are the future of Syria, and I believe that they're the future of the Islamic, empire.
Mohammed Zubi, also known as Muhammad Ibn Al-Bara, manages and recruits the Hyderabad module of the ISIS. In a bus stop in Hyderabad, posing as an investigator, I sting Abdul Hanan Qureshi. Qureshi was directly in touch with Muhammad Ibn Al-Bara. He was part of the ISIS support network.
Muhammad Ibn Al-Bara, you were in touch with this person?
Yes.
Okay. Where is he? He's a Syrian.
He's a Syrian actually he's an Australian of Syrian origin. I sent him a friend request, he accepted it.
On Facebook?
On Facebook, yes.
Okay, and then?
And I just casually used to talk. He has almost 5,000 friends. Like his friend list was full.
So what did you want to do? You wanted to go to?
Go to Syria.
You wanted to go to Syria, and then what did you want to do?
Work along with him.
With Muhammad Ibn Al-Bara?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you knew that you would die, probably you would die, you might lose your life.
Is that a risk?
Is it not a risk?
It is higher. It is risky.
You're a young boy. You have so much of life.
I thought I shouldn't be selfish for myself only.
Okay.
That's what I thought. Instructions what he gave me was when you reach Turkey, take a mobile phone chip and a SIM. I don't remember the SIM name now, but he said the name also. By using your passport and lodge into a cheap hotel which has a Wi-Fi, and through Wi-Fi then message me. There might come a
message whom?
Muhammad Ibn Al-Bara. Then from Wi-Fi you message me and later someone will come, or I will send my friend, or I will come.
In no other country are ISIS men let off like in India. Today, they are all over the country. My investigation as of now is in Hyderabad. I travel undercover as an investigator. My sources tell me even the police feel helpless because if they catch an ISIS contact, local politicians jump in to fight for them.
It's only because you have supported them in the past. There have been talks saying that it has encouraged...
You have seen my office over here. I will support anyone who wants legal help, irrespective of religion or caste. Because providing legal help is a democratic right of every Indian citizen, and no Tom, Dick and Harry can take away that right.
But the contact between ISIS and their network in Hyderabad is deep. In his house in Hyderabad, ICE sting Salman Mohiuddin. Mohiuddin was directly controlled by Mohammed ibn al-Bara and was arrested while boarding a flight to Dubai.
I'm saying there were two things.
Yeah, there were two things. One is a love story.
And another is to find out what's happening. And and we would go there to fight Bashar al-Assad if there was...
You were willing to go there and fight Bashar al-Assad.
Right.
Okay, along with the ISIS.
Right.
You had made up your mind. How would you fight? Have you ever got any weapons training and all that? So how would you fight? They would teach you?
They said they would teach.
Who said that?
On Facebook group, ma'am, that people that we were in touch with.
What kind of training can you get here? Like,
I have no idea.
But what did they say? What did they say?
They said they would train for 3 months or something, or 2 months or something.
Where would they train?
I have no idea.
What is the thing that drew you towards ISIS?
Ma'am, first thing was Bashar al-Assad was killing the Sunnis over there.
The chemical weapons.
No, chemical weapons happened
later.
But initially, the reports were like horrible. 300 people killed, 300,000 people killed, 400,000 people killed. Obviously, we would want someone to stand up and fight against this guy. And
so you were also in touch with al-Bara?
Everyone was, yes.
So what was al-Bara telling you guys? He was in Syria at that time.
No, he would give us information about what's happening on the ground. There were like many people in Syria, but I don't remember.
Okay, but these are all ISIS guys?
Yeah, some of them were.
So you were directly in touch with them?
So, yeah, with some of them.
Yeah. So what was the conversation all about?
Basically, with these guys asking what's happening on the ground, because the media would claim this is the story. And he would sometimes contradict and he would sometimes validate the story.
You would debate with the ISIS guys?
Yeah.
As I peel the layers of the Islamic terror circle in Hyderabad, the fake walls between the Indian Mujahideen and ISIS begin to crumble. At the core of this ISIS-IM conglomerate is this man, Shafi Armar, ex-Simi and now at the top levels of the ISIS hierarchy. For the first time ever, this ISIS man exposes the link.
What about Shafi Armar?
Shafi Armar भी Facebook ही से था ना. Facebook ही से था Shafi Armar.
You were directly in touch with him?
Yeah. He was like very much किसको बोलते हैं ग़ज़वाल हिंद. जो है ना He was very specific about this thing. You have to do war against India. This one, he was doing war.
What was he saying?
War, Ghazwal Hind. There's a prophet's word about India that the army from Khorasan, that is from Afghanistan, will come before the end of time. They will attack India and they will be the best among the mankind. So you have got a good priority for that.
So basically he wanted to attack India.
Basically, yeah.
So he said that to you. He wanted you to be part of that network, or
he actually wanted to be part of that. आप खुद सोचो, 7 members of IM are in Islamic State. Shafi Armar is from Islamic State. Riyaz Bhatkal is outside. Yasin Bhatkal is inside.
Riyaz Bhatkal is in Pakistan.
Maybe. According to you, media, he is in Pakistan. And now, if 7 members of IM are in ISIS, then basically Riyaz is also in support of ISIS. In that way, Shafi Armar knows that Yasin Bhatkal is a good guy in this field. So you basically will both...
You mean to say IM and ISIS are together?
Yeah.
In the last 1 year, across India, ISIS has emerged in slogans, in flags, in placards, in posters. ISIS is growing and thriving because its leaders in India openly abuse and yet talk of using the leeway they get under a democracy. I was startled, and so will you, at what this fanatic on the loose says.
What about the democracy?
According to me, democracy is kufr.
Is?
Kufr. Kufr is another big word, which means that if you do praying along with Allah, it's kufr. You are out of Islam. and insulting the Prophet Muhammad if you do, then you're out of Islam. The same way, if you believe in democracy, then you're out of Islam, because you are giving the choice of deciding the law to the people.
So you don't believe in democracy?
I reject democracy. It's not about believing, I reject democracy. Yeah, I am using it. I reject democracy.
The choice is now ours. This man has made his. He says jihadis like him give 4 options to non-believers.
Implementation of Sharia in India, in the whole world, everywhere.
Whole world.
So what happens when people...
Doing in India is a greater deed.
So what if people didn't want that implementation? So what has to be done to those people?
Basically, we will give them dawah. I'll share the rules of jihad. I'll share the
give them what?
Dawah.
Like,
please accept Islam. Like, when you're going to jihad, I'm waging a war jihad on you. I should come to you and I should give you 4 options. And man, please accept Islam and know that Allah is one. And
that is the first option.
Second, if you cannot give it, then give me jizya. Jizya like tax. Give me tax.
Third,
you should leave your whole country and run. Run for your life. Fourth, fight with us.
Fight with us?
Yeah, basically.
Basically get killed.
Maybe kill or killed. Maro ya maro.
This is just the tip of India's worst-kept secret about how ISIS terrorists are allowed to have a free run in our country. They operate with impunity, mock our constitution and democracy. In part 2 of our expose, we will bring to you more chilling details on the ISIS support network in India. With video journalist Shailendra Bhatt, this is Prema Sridevi for Republic TV.
There should only be one side on this debate. Unfortunately, there are 2. Sambit Patra, GD Bakshi, RSN Singh and Vikram Singh on one side. Waris Pathan, Ahmad Ayaz, John Dayal and Mahmood Paracha, who's an advocate, are on the other side. I want to start with Waris Pathan, who's an MLA of the AIMIM and an advocate. He's from Asaduddin Owaisi's party. You watch the tapes, the debate is beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an open debate. Prema Sridevi, who broke the story, is with me here in the studio. You watch the tapes, Mr. Pathan?
Yes.
Now please come out and support a nationwide combing operation. A nationwide combing operation against Islamist terror, because these fanatic toxins on these tapes threaten the fabric of India, the security of our people and the stability of our India. Please, right now, announce your support for a nationwide combing operation against Islamist terror.
Arnab, let me tell you, we are the first people who have been condemning the ISIS since the beginning.
I don't want any fake condemnations.
We said ISIS are the dogs of hell. They don't have any religion. They cannot be called Muslims.
Then why do you...
And we are against any kind of terrorist activity in the country or anywhere. We condemn the terrorism activities committed by any person anywhere in the world.
Say that Abdul Basit should be behind bars.
You have got the tapes, give it to the police, let the investigation be done, and if he is found guilty, hang him. Well, but everybody should be allowed to have a trial.
If we put out the tapes and we give it to the police, the problem will be, Sambit Patra, that your leader, that the leader of Waris Pathan, Asaduddin Owaisi, will be the first person to stand in court because he wants a few votes.
So in democracy, every person...
You believe in Muslim appeasement of the worst kind.
I believe in the constitution first. Every person who is arrested has got the right to be legally defended by the lawyer of his own choice. The state has to provide a legal aid. Every person has to have a legal aid. Then after the trial, you convict him or acquit him.
Do you support a nationwide combing operation against Islamist terror, Mr. Pathan? Do you or do you not?
We are against all kind of terrorism and terrorist activities.
Let
the investigation be done. Give the tapes to the police. Let the police investigate. Bring them to trial. If they are involved, hang them. If they are not involved, allow them to go. But every person has got a right for a free and fair trial, for a legal aid. How can you take his democratic right? If he is guilty, Arnab, you punish him, you hang him. But whosoever is arrested in our country, the law provides so. I have not made the law. The law provides so.
Let me come on this.
To be defended by
I'm
a lawyer and a
quick
legal aid.
from Sambit Patra,
and
then
yes,
I will open it up.
We are we will always be against all kind of terrorist activity.
I don't want any inanities.
Yes.
Respectfully, sir, Mr. Pathan, you should have said, Put the terrorist of ISIS, Abdul Basit, behind bars.
Yes.
Put the supporters of Abdul Basit behind bars.
Put them behind bars.
Drag everyone.
Drag everyone.
Drag everyone.
Let an investigation be
Don't
taken place
complete
and
my
drag
sentences
everyone.
for me. Don't complete my sentences for me.
Whosoever is involved
you should say
in the
tonight,
terrorist activity should be put behind bars and severest punishment should be meted out.
The man is on it. I've got the pictures of the person on it. Whosoever. Why are you talking in this generalized way? I would like to put the pictures of Abdul Basit.
If you have got the tapes and you feel that he is linked with the ISIS,
the tapes
arrest him.
Your leader is looking red-faced. Your leader is looking embarrassed.
See, please,
your leader is looking embarrassed. And I now want to counter. And this is the man.
And we condemn the terrorist activities.
This is the man. His name is Abdul Basit.
Mr. Pathan,
and he is one out of many ISIS terrorists who are benefiting from the politics of Asaduddin Owaisi and his party, the All India MIM. They wanted to Muslim appeasement politics in our country, and the AIMIM does not care tomorrow if a man like him were to go out and carry out a terrorist attack on tape, Mr. Bab.
How can you blame us for not doing anything? How can you blame us?
On tape, because
we are condemning the terrorism activities and you are blaming us.
Because Prema will tell you that on tape what this man said about Indian democracy. Prema, why don't you tell him? What did he say about Indian democracy?
In fact, he says he hates Indian democracy, he rejects Indian democracy, but he will use Indian democracy.
And abuse it.
And he will abuse Indian democracy. He also goes on to say that he wants Sharia to be implemented in the entire country, in the entire world, and he said that he will give four options like people like you and me. If we don't accept, first he'll ask us whether we'll accept Sharia. If we don't accept Sharia, then he will ask us, he'll give the option for us to pay tax. If we say no, then he will tell us to get out of the country. And then if we don't do that, then he says get killed or kill or get killed.
Arrest him.
So these kinds of things. What do you mean arrest him? What do you mean arrest him? Why are you providing them legal assistance?
No, legal assistance.
Why are you providing them legal assistance?
Because in our country there is a law and the law provides so that every person who is arrested is to be given a legal assistance. See, Ajmal Kasab was the biggest terrorist.
You want to give a red carpet welcome. One second.
Allow me to say,
Prema, the answer is very
no. was arrested for creating mayhem in Mumbai.
Well, Mr. Waris Pathan,
was provided a legal aid. Any person.
Mr. Waris Pathan, you are nobody and no one. Allow me to complete. You are. Allow me to complete.
I am a lawyer.
Allow me to complete. Now, Mr. Waris Pathan.
Yes.
Are we going to argue on the amplitude of our voices or the strength of our arguments? Because if it is the latter, then don't shout.
No, allow us to make our points clearly and properly because the nation is watching and I want to make myself very clear.
You are nobody and no one. I respectfully say this. You are, one second. You are nobody and your leader Asaduddin Owaisi is no one. And Asaduddin Owaisi, you have my phone number. Call me right now if you think you have a counterpoint.
Of course, we have got a counterpoint. Do you believe in constitution? Allow me to speak for 30 seconds.
No, 1 second.
Do you believe in the constitution? Do you believe in law?
There are other panelists on the debate.
The law provides a legal aid to be provided to a person who is arrested.
The law asks for the state to provide. The state provides legal assistance. You are nobody. The law does not tell a political party to interfere in the process of the law. Only and only if the state refuses. Only and only if the state refuses to provide legal assistance can you butt in. Otherwise, keep out of it.
Now I'd like Sambit Patra to come into this debate.
This is the problem, viewers. This is the problem, viewers. Muslim appeasement is being taken to such a point that it compromises national security. I'm not saying all do it, but watch here tonight that Hyderabad has become the center of the ISIS network in India, because in Hyderabad there are leaders who say that if there are people who are caught with connections to ISIS networks, we will provide free legal cover. In other words, politicians encourage terrorists in our country and we pay taxes. Politicians encourage terrorists and the carrying out of terrorist acts in our country, and we pay taxes hoping that the law and order machinery will work for us, but that's not the case. Sambit Patra is responding to you. Sambit Patra, and by the way, the debate is open. RSN Singh, Vikram Singh, Ahmad Ayaz, John Dayal, Mahmood Paracha and Sambit Patra, feel free to come in. Sambit Patra's turn.
Arnab. Mr. Waris Pathan, thank you for conceding the floor to me now. You are a lawyer. Hope you allow us to speak as well. Number one, Waris Pathan, you shouted at the top of the voice saying that, go, arrest the man. Well, yes, that's what the police had done last year in 2016. In 2016, the police had arrested 11 people from your place, that is Hyderabad, that means Mr. Owaisi's place, because these were IS suspects. And you know what Mr. Owaisi had said then? Mr. Owaisi had said that the police has arrested this youth because They were Muslims. Because the police wanted to scare the Muslims. And Mr. Owaisi went ahead to say that I would provide them legal cover. I would provide them legal assistance.
What a shame.
And
What
no
a shame.
Tom, Dick and Harry, the exact words. No Tom, Dick and Harry in this country can save me, can prevent me from doing so. And let me tell you, Mr. Pathan, let me tell Mr. Pathan that leave aside these. Yaqub Memon, the dreaded terrorist, was handed over a hanging sentence by the Supreme Court of the country. And your leader, Mr. Owaisi, went to the extent of saying that Yaqub was hanged because he was a Muslim. And he forced the Supreme Court to open itself after midnight. That kind of... No, you don't have any answers, sir. You are the people who have propagated this kind of thought process. You are the people who want a Sharia law in this country. Remember, today when the Supreme Court is hearing on triple talaq, your leader, Mr. Owaisi, went ahead to say that we respect Sharia more than the Constitution. He said, who is the Indian government in the Indian democracy to think and to dictate as to how the Muslims will get married and how the Muslim will divorce? So naturally, this kind of feeling...
This issue is far more serious.
Now you have leveled allegations against me, so at least listen to me. You have leveled certain allegations against me that we were the ones who had supported Yaqub Memon. So let me make one thing very, very clear, that when Yaqub Memon was hanged, 100 legal luminaries, including social activities and top people from
RSN Singh on the other side,
a letter to the president,
RSN Singh,
that the way he was hanged was not proper. The way
each one of them
punishment is not proper. So will you blame everybody?
Yes, I blame everybody. Yes, I blame everybody. I would blame everybody. I would blame everybody. I would blame everybody, Waris Pathan, and I would call them a legal illiterate if they don't understand that every single opportunity denied in every free country of the world was provided to Yaqub Memon, and you should not, as an Indian citizen, be talking like this. Now understand here tonight. Please tell me, are these ISIS men or not? And GD Bakshi wants to come in on this. I have never seen such a compromise of national security as I'm seeing there tonight. Viewers, I just want to say this before I go to GD Bakshi, that we have exposed the ISIS network. This is part one of three-part expose. It's not easy to do these exposes, but why have we done it? And people have called us since the morning, saying, why did you carry out the sting operation on the ISIS? I said only for one reason, that we wanted to show that the ISIS exists, that it is not a figment of somebody's imagination, that it exists because it is the result of untold and unacceptable appeasement and politics, that in no other country would these people spend 1 minute outside prison. But in our country, viewers, and GD Bakshi can take it from there, in our country, these people roam free. Republic has provided you with evidence today that the ISIS in India is a reality, that these ISIS terrorists openly admit they are waging a war of jihad against us, do still claim that the ISIS in India is not some sort of illusion created by the right wing to communalize India. Let me be loud and clear about it today. Terrorism is terrorism. A terrorist deserves the most stringent punishment available under the law, regardless of his religion, caste or creed. So do not give a communal twist to terrorism. GD Bakshi is on the debate, please. GD Bakshi, please. GD Bakshi, RSN Singh, Ahmad Ayaz, John Dayal, Mahmood Paracha, feel free to come in. GD Bakshi next. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Arnab, the Republic channel deserves to be congratulated. There was opinion, a deeply entrenched opinion in sections of our security bureaucracy and our politics, that Syria and the ISIS is 4,383 kilometers away. May I humbly point out that the ISIS is the richest terrorist organization in the world with an annual income of $3 billion, which it has invested in creating a huge presence on the internet. It is not 4,000 kilometers away, Arnab. It is a click away. It is self-radicalizing our youth. It is creating lone wolves. The rest of the world, Arnab, is treating the ISIS with jet bombers, with cruise missiles, with the mother of all bombs. And what are we doing? We are providing them legal assistance, Arnab.
Absolutely.
Please note the contrast.
For a few
the ISIS is recruiting. The ISIS is recruiting franchises It has recruited the Indian Mujahideen. It has recruited the Simi and now the Hizbul Mujahideen.
That's what I want to ask
Did
today.
we all hear?
No, that's
Qadir Musa.
That's what I want to ask today.
Did we all hear Qadir Musa, the chap who has succeeded Burhan Wani, openly saying that he wants to establish a caliphate, not just in Kashmir, but in the whole of India, Arnab.
GD sir.
And
the problem is that in our country, anyone who questions Islamic terrorism is called a right-winger. Anyone. You call out Islamic terrorism and you are called a right-winger. I see your hand go up, Mr. Paracha and Ahmad Ayaz. You saw our tapes today. And I hope you saw the extent to which this ISIS rot runs in India. They talk about the Islamic State worldwide, even at the cost of the lives of those who oppose. But I fail to understand tonight. Allow me to complete, sir, and then I'll give you an opportunity. Allow me to complete today. Allow me to complete. How obtuse can people be in denial mode to deny that Abdul Basit, who says that I'm waging a war of jihad on India, is not an ISIS operative? How can you deny the existence of ISIS in India? And why did people deny the existence of ISIS in India till now? Why does it need Republic TV's Prema Sridevi to show you 3 different ISIS terrorists who confess to keeping in touch with top-rung ISIS terrorists in Syria? And I hate to break it to you, Mr. Paracha, but the nation is not plotting some obscure conspiracy against the Muslim community. The nation is not placing ISIS flags in the hands of misguided youth. And it is certainly not responsible for what we saw in the expose today. What I find shocking today is your denial of the reality that ISIS exists in India. Accept it tonight, Mr. Paracha and Ahmad Ayaz, whichever one of you want to take it. How much longer will you deny the existence of ISIS by discussing Hindu terror? Yes, please, go on. Go on, respond to me.
Basically, I differ with you on the first thing. Just because when you call it an Islamic radicalization only, why don't you talk of the entire radicalization? Let it be by any group.
I want to hear you. Yeah, loud and clear. Go on.
Sorry?
Go on, Mr. Paracha.
Can I come in? Can I come in?
Who's
Can I come in?
Go on. I'm listening.
I want to first.
No.
I hope.
Should I come in?
Arnab.
Can I come in, Arnab?
Prema, that you have reported this. That you have reported this man to the police and he is arrested by now. But having said that, all the answers to your questions why is the fact that there are rogue elements in our government and in enforcement agencies. And I'm saying this with full sense of responsibility, who are tacitly supporting ISIS and terrorist organizations like that. And that is the main reason. I would give you an example. You have come in very late. In 2014, in August, a movement was launched by Maulana Kalbe Jawad and an organization called Anjuman-e-Haidari in Delhi, a Muslim organization, to oppose ISIS. The rogue elements in the government have convinced the entire government to suffocate this organization, and these are the people who are basically responsible for promotion of ISIS.
So what
because
do you say?
Had Muslims opposed ISIS
Mahmood
and
Paracha.
taken away the shine, I am
Mr.
saying
Paracha.
now this is, and if you,
Mr. Paracha,
first thing is this,
Mr.
have
Paracha,
you ever done a program on
Mr.
Anjuman-e-Haidari and Maulana
Mr.
Kalbe Jawad
Paracha,
who are opposing
right
and me, and have you done any program on these rogue elements?
Mr.
These rogue
Paracha,
elements who are supporting ISIS indirectly
Mr.
and
Paracha,
suffocating
Mr.
the
Paracha,
organizations
now
have you done a
you know,
program
I'll
on
tell
that?
you one thing,
Number
Mr.
one.
Paracha. Mr.
Number
Paracha,
two.
Mr.
Number
Paracha,
two.
1 minute.
I
Now
have
listen
3
to me,
points to
please.
make.
Listen to me,
I have
listen.
3 points
Listen to me,
make.
Mr.
I have
Paracha,
3
for a
points to
minute.
make.
For a minute.
This is one.
For a minute,
Yes,
Mr.
yes, please
Paracha.
go ahead.
Listen
Please
to
go
me,
ahead.
listen to me.
People like you, Arnab, are also tacitly supporting these kind of activities because you will not cover Maulana Kalbe Jawad, you will not cover Anjuman-e-Haidari who are opposing ISIS, you will not cover me because government is suffocating me to oppose ISIS. That is point number one. That is point number one. There is an LOC. We wanted to oppose ISIS to go into their heart.
We don't need your second and third points, sir. It would suffocate us.
Has he been
Please
arrested?
don't suffocate me with your point number 2 and 3. Listen to my rebuttal.
All right, Mahmood Paracha, getting a counter from Sambit Patra on this one. I heard your Alice in Wonderland story. Now Let Sambit respond.
Real culprits are caught.
Mr. Mahmood Paracha,
Mr. Arnab Goswami.
Mr. Mahmood Paracha, let me come to you and let me give you a rebuttal, please. We don't need any more points from you.
Falsely reported that who was the terrorist. He reported that
God, you are projecting as if the ones who are against the kind of Basit are the ones who are propagating ISIS, and you are the savior of this country. For God's sake, don't do that and listen to us.
I am not propagating. I know the people in government,
listen to us.
in government who you are not stopping are propagating ISIS in this country, and I can name them. There are journalists who are propagating this story. There are people who are supporting them.
Where has he got his documents from? I don't know.
Please tell me, what have you
taken
against the Maulanas who are supporting ISIS?
Name them, Mr. Paracha. I'm not stopping.
Maulanas and organizations who are opposing.
Name them, Mr. Paracha. Name them, Mr. Paracha. Name them.
Mr. Salman Nadwi.
Name them, Mr. Paracha, but provide the proof. Name them, but provide the proof.
He said, I am naming Mr. Salman Nadwi. I am naming them. Mr. Nadwi, Salman Nadwi from Lucknow. Government did not take any action against him, although government took action against Maulana Kalve Jawad, who is openly opposing ISIS. What is this? What is this?
You have now, Mr. Paracha, have you finished?
Against me. The IB is fighting me because I am opposing ISIS.
Okay,
now,
Mr.
Now, please answer me this.
Okay. Now that your lecture is complete. Now that your lecture is complete. Now that your lecture is complete, let me tell you something, Mr. Paracha. Let me tell you about the immediacy of the situation and how critical the situation is before Sambit comes in. The National Investigation Agency has warned that the missing youth from Kerala who have joined ISIS may return. In 2014, 4 youth from Kalyan. In 2015, 23 Indians were joining ISIS. 17 were from southern states. In 2016, 21 Keralites went missing. Now, let me tell you, if these 50-odd people come back after ISIS training and come back to our country, will you, Mr. Paracha, be providing security cover to the people of this country? And, Mr. Paracha, I want to ask you, and I want to ask Waris Pathan, whose hypocritical and duplicitous answers to my first series of questions must also be followed up with a follow-up question. Today, I would just want to ask you this. Mister, please understand this. Please understand this. Now, my question to you is this. Today, Mr. Owaisi said the famous line, law should take its own course.
Yes.
I, Mr. Waris Pathan, want to ask you. You have your phone with you?
Yes.
You have Mr. Owaisi's number on your phone?
See, I am here. You kindly ask me questions. I am also here as an advocate. You can ask me questions as a lawyer.
Then I want to ask you.
Matter requires the lawyer
I want to ask you. Then I want to ask you.
I can answer you as a lawyer.
Then I want to ask you.
Every person who is arrested is brought before the court, and he should be tried as per the law of the land.
Let me follow up.
Yes.
Let me follow up. Here's the question.
You ask me, I am a lawyer. I'll answer to you.
Yeah, you answer, but then you have to let me answer the question, right? Yeah. I believe viewers. And I wish I could just open up the phone lines tonight, but I want to see your responses on Twitter after this. I'm asking a question. There are terrorists in Hyderabad. If you're watching this in Hyderabad, who do you think should go and file the first FIR in the case? I say that if Mr. Owaisi is a responsible citizen and a responsible member of parliament and not carrying out simple Muslim appeasement, then Mr. Owaisi should go and file an FIR under sections 121A, 122 of the Indian Penal Code and Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. As a member of parliament from Hyderabad, he should do that. Should he not, RSN Singh? Should he not? RSN Singh, should he not? Should he not? If he's a responsible man, should Mr. Owaisi not file a first FIR against these ISIS people? Mr. Owaisi, RSN Singh, don't hold yourself back in the debate tonight. Tell him. Tell him.
Yeah.
You should also
tell him. Let Mr. Pathan listen.
The national security planners, you know, they listen to me. Listen to me. The ISIS and the Al Qaeda, they share the same encryption codes, the encryption tools. So, you know, nobody should hide behind, you know, condemning, you know, the ISIS.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you, what your interview has done is it has reinforced the fact that actually the ISIS which is a part of Al Qaeda, which actually morphed from Al Qaeda in Iraq, is actually one franchisee which deals with the urban educated Muslims. all people whom you have carried out sting operations, and invariably they are English speaking people. The second point I'll tell you, again I'll say that why you shouldn't allow people to hide behind, this, condemning Baghdadi and he's a dog of the hell or hell of the dog. I don't know what do they mean. But let me tell you, have you, Arnab, ever seen, can anybody on this panel tell me that has Al-Qaeda ever clashed with ISIS? There is ISIS in Syria.
Never, they are part of the same group.
We have been condemning Mr. RS and saying nobody is in support of terrorism. Forget about president. We have been calling them dogs of hell. We have condemning all kinds of terrorism activities.
No. What? No. अरे भाई मैं कुछ और बोल रहा हूँ यार. मैं दूसरी बात. आपने पाकिस्तान में कभी भी किसी एक जिहादी ग्रुप को दूसरे जिहादी ग्रुप से क्लैश होते देखा है? आपने वहां पे, हैव यू सीन हकानी ग्रुप क्लैशिंग विद तहरीके तालिबान? हैव यू सीन जैश ए मोहम्मद क्लैशिंग विद लश्कर ए तौयबा? नाउ अर्नब कम्स द पॉइंट. That day you carried out, your channel carried out a sting operation on that Lashkar-e-Toiba propaganda man, and what did he tell you? He told you, and I had emphasized then, I had clearly brought out, he said in as many words that we also propagate video messages and propaganda material from the Islamic State. So the Lashkar-e-Toiba is connected to Indian Mujahideen, and by the way, I think the Indian Mujahideen, when it split, it formed in India, it formed Ansur al-Tawheed. Shafi Armar, he went to he first joined the Al-Qaeda, and from there he moved to the ISIS.
So then I asked John Dayal
that there is
no. Then I want to ask John Dayal one question before I go to the break. Therefore I want to ask John Dayal one question before I go to the break. Before I go to the break, Ahmad Ayaz has not spoken. I want to go to John Dayal.
That we condemn Baghdadi and he's anti-Islam.
I want to ask just one question. I want to ask one question. I want to ask one question to John Dayal.
Ask the question.
I asked my question.
Ask the question.
Now listen to my question and give me a straight answer.
Ask it.
On the 18th of April 2016, on the occasion of the Foundation Day of the Welfare Party of India, you, John Dayal, said, Hindu radicalization is more dangerous than radicalization of Muslims. Today, I hope your eyes are wide open, and I hope you're listening and seeing as well. How is one form of religious radicalization more dangerous than the other? It is statements like this, John Dayal. It is statements like this that make me wonder whether you are saying that the ISIS is not a real danger in India despite today's tapes. Are you condoning the statements of the likes of Abdul Basit, who says he wants to implement Sharia in the whole world? Are you so desperate to cling on to your pseudo-liberal status that you will defend the likes of Basit and Salman but call pro-Hindu statements dangerous? You claim, John Dayal, you claim that देश का हुआ देखा कि उसका radicalization दिखा के पुलिस कहकर दिखाती है. But John Dayal, today you have been provided with unimpeachable proof on Republic that these claims of Islamic radicalization and claims of ISIS threats that the police makes are completely true. Are you going to pretend now that this is a case of state ka terrorism? Or the claim that ISIS exists are legitimate?
Let me answer your question.
Yes.
If you will give me one word edgewise, for 15 seconds, let me answer. My community is a major victim of the IS. Father Tom is in the captivity of the IS, and we are pleading with the government to get him out, as we are pleading with the rest of the world. Did you hear me speak at Jantar Mantar against the IS with secular Muslims, with secular Hindus?
Then say today there should be a combing operation.
It's shocking.
Then say,
and nobody is in denial. We are.
Then say there should be a combing operation.
The IS is.
Then say there should be a combing operation.
The whole world.
Then say there should be a combing operation.
The whole world.
Say there should be a combing operation today.
You're not in denial.
Should he not say there should be a combing operation? GD Bakshi Harrison saying, Sambit Patra, should John Dayal not support a combing operation against the ISIS in India? Why is he silent now? Why is he silent now?
Can I please come in over here?
Why is he silent now?
Of course. I want to ask some questions.
There should be a continuous combing operation.
And I'm going to take a short break at this point of time and come back on the other side and ask John Dayal why he's silent now, because the activities of the ISIS in India as exposed on Republic exceed every limit of the violation of human rights that he may have ever heard of. I'm back on the other side on this debate on Republic.